Ethan Rivers, 32, a successful architect from Toronto, known for his dedication to both his career and his marriage. Ethan is a calm, composed man with a strong sense of loyalty and fairness. Sienna Collins, 29, Ethan's wife, who manages a high-end art gallery downtown. Sienna is charismatic, social, and ambitious, often more interested in her social status than anything else. Cole Bennett, 33, Ethan's university friend, a charming tech entrepreneur who recently moved back to the city. Cole is confident, wealthy, and known for his easy charm. Ethan noticed the changes in Sienna's behavior gradually, but they became impossible to ignore. Once they were a team, she would light up when he walked into the room and they'd share stories of their day over a quiet dinner. But now her excitement seemed reserved for someone or something he couldn't quite put his finger on. It was subtle. She began to be vague about her gallery events. Her phone would flash with messages she quickly hid, and her laughter seemed forced when she was around him. One night, as they sat on the couch watching TV, she casually mentioned a new friend she'd met at work, but avoided further details when he asked. Ethan's gut told him something was off, but he pushed it aside, not wanting to seem insecure or distrustful. Still, the feeling lingered. The following weeks amplified his suspicions. Sienna's late nights grew more frequent. When she arrived home, she carried a different air, distracted, almost distant. And then, one night, Ethan saw it. Sienna received a text message, and her face lit up in a way he hadn't seen in a long time. She quickly closed her phone, but Ethan's curiosity was ignited. He decided that he would uncover the truth. Ethan didn't confront her directly. Instead, he observed. He watched as she continued to leave late, claiming another fundraiser or a gallery meetup. He researched her gallery's events but found no trace of these so-called fundraisers. This wasn't his first betrayal, but it stung differently, deeply. Ethan was determined to catch her in the act, so he confided in Cole. Cole listened intently, concern clouding his face as he heard his friend's suspicions. Cole suggested they stake out one of her events together. The plan was simple. Ethan would feign a business trip, giving Sienna free rein to pursue whatever she was hiding. He'd return unexpectedly, just in time to catch her at her next so-called event. On a cool Friday night, Ethan left their shared apartment, suitcases in hand. He kissed Sienna goodbye, forcing a smile, and watched her flash a relieved smile in return. After she thought he'd gone, he circled back, staying hidden. Hours later, he saw her leave, dressed to the nines, looking every bit as if she were going to impress someone. Ethan and Cole followed her discreetly. She arrived at an upscale rooftop bar that had no signs of an art gathering or fundraiser. Instead, she walked confidently toward a table where a tall, well-dressed man waited, smiling with a familiarity that told Ethan this wasn't their first meeting. They laughed, leaned close, and touched hands, confirming Ethan's worst fear. Heart pounding, Ethan watched in disbelief as his wife, the woman he'd loved for years, flirted openly with a stranger. His emotions roared, a mix of rage, betrayal, and heartbreak that left him feeling gutted. Yet he restrained himself, deciding to wait until he knew everything before he confronted her. Days passed, and Sienna remained unaware of Ethan's discovery. But now that the truth was out, Ethan didn't hide his coldness toward her. Sienna sensed his shift, but assumed it was work stress. Ethan confided again in Cole, who encouraged him to confront her and demand answers. But Ethan felt that a confrontation alone would let her off too easy. He wanted her to feel the weight of her betrayal, to see what she'd risked for a fling. Cole, always one for bold ideas, suggested a plan that would expose Sienna's double life, without Ethan even saying a word. Ethan and Cole devised a plan for her upcoming gallery event, an affair that Ethan knew held significant weight in Sienna's career. With Cole's tech savvy, they secured evidence of Sienna's infidelity, gathering images and recordings from the rooftop bar, timestamps, and even messages that Cole managed to retrieve with Ethan's permission. It was enough to paint a clear picture of Sienna's betrayal. Ethan decided the best time to reveal her deception would be in front of those whose opinions mattered most to her: her colleagues, her friends, and her social circle. Ethan held back his emotions as he prepared a presentation of sorts, including the photos, messages, and locations of her meetups with the stranger. On the evening of the gallery event, Sienna was in her element, mingling and basking in the admiration of her peers. She hadn't even noticed Ethan's presence yet, but as she took to the stage to thank everyone for their support, Ethan made his move. He stepped up, taking the microphone from her hands with a calm smile that hid his intentions. "Thank you all for being here tonight," he began. "I've supported Sienna for years, but tonight I want to share the truth with all of you about our marriage, about the person you think you know." Sienna's face paled as Ethan displayed the incriminating evidence on a projector, each image and message plastered for everyone to see. Gasps filled the room as her friends and colleagues looked at her in shock. She tried to speak, but Ethan cut her off, his voice unwavering. "This is what happens when loyalty is betrayed. I trusted her with everything, and she chose lies over love. I wanted you all to see the truth because she's hidden it for too long." The night ended with Sienna fleeing the gallery in shame, her reputation in tatters, her once bright future clouded by her own decisions. In the days that followed, Ethan experienced a strange mix of emotions. While he felt a sense of justice, the void left by Sienna's betrayal was undeniable. He missed the person he thought she was, but he knew that healing meant moving forward without her. He met with Cole, who reminded him that this was a new chapter, a fresh start. Cole encouraged him to focus on himself, to rebuild the parts of his life that Sienna had shattered. Slowly, Ethan began taking on new projects, pouring his energy into work, traveling, and connecting with people who valued him. Meanwhile, Sienna struggled. Her gallery clients vanished and her social circle shrank as her betrayal became public knowledge. The man she'd risked it all for had left her, uninterested in committing to a woman with such a scandal hanging over her. One day she appeared at Ethan's new office, pleading for forgiveness. She was a shell of the confident, ambitious woman she'd once been, now replaced by someone desperate to reclaim what she'd lost. She tearfully admitted her mistakes, begging for a chance to make things right. But Ethan was firm. "You made a choice, Sienna. You put your desires above everything we built together," he said softly. "I'm moving forward, and you should too." Sienna left, realizing that the consequences of her betrayal were permanent. Thank you so much for watching. This story reminds us of the cost of loyalty and the consequences of betrayal. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, share it with friends, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, and feel free to ask any questions about the story. Until next time, keep supporting us and stay tuned for more.